Podcast. And today we got a very special guest, my man, Jon Connor, man. Jon Connor, how you doing today, man?
Peace and blessings, man. I'm good. I'm blessed. It's a new year, new opportunities, man. I feel good, man. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate that, man. You know what I'm saying? So, John, man, we got a few questions for you, man. You know what I'm saying? And, the first one we want to ask you, man, is basically, what was that first song or first hip hop song or whatever you heard that made you fall in love with hip hop and say, man, hey, this is what I want to be. I want to be an MC.
Well, the song that made me want to be, now I got to always give credit to the pioneers from my area, from Flint, the MC Breed, the Dayton family, Top Authority.
Yes,
You know what I'm
sir.
saying? Ready for the World. You know, everybody that was coming out, Jake the Flake. All those cats, like they would always, like I would hear my sister listening to those, but I gotta be 100% honest. You know, the song that made me want to do this was "No Limit Soldiers" by Master P. That was
man.
Okay.
so because in '97, I think 90. So this is like maybe 96, 97 had to be, but no, whatever year "No Limit Soldiers," I think it was 97. So that was the joint. That was because I can remember the TRU CD, True to the Game, with the three
Yes, sir.
front. And I just remember my homeboy Dave, he brought the CD down to my sister crib. And I don't know, it was just like something happened. From the second I heard, "What's up with all y'all real niggas?" Like, you know what I'm saying? I heard P on that joint. It was like, it was on. Like, that's what, like I say, hip hop was around me because my sister, but nothing made me want to rap until I heard "No Limit Soldiers."
Man, that's what's up. You know, especially me being from, I'm from Texas. I'm a Southern boy, so we rocking P them heavy down here. You know what I'm saying, and everything. But yeah.
I remember in high school, I used to get a lot of hate for that. Like, I was a big No Limit fan in high school. But Cascading, that Young Money, Cash Money conversation.
What part of Texas y'all from?
I'm from Dallas. He's actually from LA.
I'm from Compton.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm from Compton.
So
I love Dallas. Just wanted to say shouts to Dallas, man, because, bruh, anytime I go on tour, I always have a good time in Dallas, man. I lived in California for 6 years. I'd never been through Compton before. But, of course, being around Dre, I heard about it. So it was like, man, shouts to both of y'all hometowns, man.
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, man. The next time you could go on tour, man, you got to make a stop through here in Austin. I live in Austin now, so, I used to live in LA as well. We moved back here to Austin, man. You got to make a stop here, man. People here.
I want to come out there. I want to come out there for South by Southwest. I haven't been there in, like, last time I went to South by was 2011. Then I came back in 2012. So it's been a minute since I've been to Austin. I just haven't been to South by Southwest in a minute. So I think I want to I got a lot of projects coming this year. So I think I'm gonna try to get out that way.
Oh yeah, for sure. Please do come through, man. And everything. So, just bounce from that, man. You from Flint, Michigan, and everything, man. How was it growing up in Flint, man? I mean, I know you just gave us a little rundown, and everything, but how the hip hop scene? How was it out there, man? Or how is it out there?
Evolved over the years. When I was growing up, like I said, MC Breed was the first one from Flint to get a record deal. Had that "Ain't No Future in Your Front," and then shortly after that, had the Dayton family, and that was the hip hop scene when we was growing up. Really, pretty much that crew. You know what I'm saying? And I think they was the first ones to show us that it was possible. That if music was what you wanted to do, if you put the time in and you worked hard enough, that a record deal was possible, and taking your music to a national level, like, was possible. So that's what it was growing up. Like, we saw Breed and the Dayton family from afar, and we knew that thing was possible. As I was growing up, man, me, I'm a kid, a product. I was born in the 80s, but I'm a product of the 90s, and my best, my youth was spent in the 2000s, as far as high school. So when I was coming up in high school, we was man, we was just trying to figure out and establish what that culture was. It was a lot of we would battle each other. It was a lot of, you know what I'm saying, like making beats on the lunch table, and whoever start
Yes, sir.
rapping, you know what I'm saying, the other person, somebody else gonna jump in, and it was a lot of ciphers and all of that. And I remember back when I was in high school, we would go to the other dude high school and battle him in the hallway. You know, that or
Oh
meet
yeah.
up at the basketball game or whatever. So, you know, that's what the scene was in the 2000s, where it was just like, you know, just a bunch of teenagers trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like emulating what we've seen in documentaries and movies about New York. You know what I'm saying? And then
Mm-hmm.
8 Mile ain't make it no better, because then that came out around the same time I was in high school. So battling became super popular at that time. But Flint, as far as just what it's like as a place, man, it's no place like it. You know, we come from humble beginnings. You know, the automotive industry was here, then it left. So it's like this, you know, Flint can't either make you or break you, because it could be that type of place where sometimes it's so gloomy and dark and poverty stricken that it can suck all of the drive out of you, or you can let that
Mm-hmm.
drive you. And fortunately for me, my mother, my father, and just my loved ones, they were always super encouraging. You know, my dad used to always take me on road trips with him, so I used to see life beyond Flint. So I never just thought like I was doomed or I didn't have no hope, because he would always take me and show me like different cities and different states. But Flint can't be one of those places, you know, it can trap you. I think that sometimes you can get used to a certain type of you could get addicted or used to a certain type of living condition, and you can become so used to it that you don't even realize it's bad anymore. And sometimes I feel like, not just in Flint, I feel like with a lot of hoods, like with us as people, we start accepting the hood as, well, this is the way I'm supposed to live. The hood is,
Right.
I cuss on here,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
hood
yeah,
fucked up no matter where you go, like, you know what I'm saying. But I
yeah.
think like it's a part of us as people, we learn to like embrace it, and like we almost become proud of the hood, when really I feel like, yo, we honestly be growing up in like some fucked up circumstances, like people dying, people selling dope, people, women selling their body. Like,
Mm-hmm.
these is all things I grew up around, your auntie or your cousin a crackhead, and you gotta be cautious if you invite them over to the house. It's like, but we get so used to that we don't sometimes aspire to make it out of those conditions, because we normalize it. And sometimes I think in Flint that happens, that it's so bad, but everybody's so used to it that nobody strives to get away from it sometimes. So I think that Flint is just like every other ghetto around America. I think that you know, it's just as hard as any other place that you hear about or read about. And then the water crisis didn't make it no better. So
Right.
that we deal with that. So we deal with the poverty and the crime of every other hood, but then we also got the water thing on top of that. So, and so now, just bringing y'all up to now of what the Flint hip hop scene is like. There's a lot of cats that's making a name for themselves, and I'm so proud of them. YNJ and Rio, the Young OG, these cats like are buzzing and doing their thing, and I'm proud of anybody from the city that, you know, make it to a point where they can make a living off of doing this thing we do. So now I think that the Flint hip hop scene is, it's always been kind of divided. It's always been like the super duper street rappers, then the artistic rappers. Then when I was coming up, I was kind of leading the charge of like the artistic rappers. Like, you know, like I said, I was coming up around the time when Kanye was coming up, where he kind of made it cool to just be yourself, where you ain't have to be shooting
Right.
somebody in your raps, or you ain't have to be no glorified tough guy. And for me, it was like I grew up in the hood, but I'm not a street dude by any fucking stretch of the imagination. I ain't shooting nobody. I ain't selling no dope. I ain't doing none of that shit. So it was like, for me, I had to tell my story and make it cool to just sound like the observer, the dude that grew up in the hood but didn't want no parts of the bullshit. And so I think that I kind of started that lane, like as far as Flint hip hop, and then you always had like the street lane. So it's like I think that it's very diverse right now, and I think coming up in Flint, I think you can feel free to just be who and what you want to be, and not feel like you gotta make a certain type of music. Because for a long time, if you didn't make street music coming from Flint, they wasn't gonna accept you. They wasn't hearing it. No, none of that. So
Mm.
my journey was hard as fuck because like Flint, like I'm from Flint, born and raised, north side of Flint, but I didn't make the music that sound like what Flint felt like they represented, as far as street shit and drug dealing, and like they felt like, you know, you ain't speaking what we want to hear, which is what they everyday life was. And what I was speaking was, yes, I seen that, but come on, y'all, let's aspire to be something different. So I think now it's just a broad, wide range, man, of different genres of Flint hip hop that I'm proud to see happen. That now everybody just doing their own thing. If you a street guy, be that. If you a funny rapper, be that. You know, like it's this cat named Pac-Man. Like, you know what I'm saying? He more so like
Yeah.
what I be saying about him, he make kind of like humorous songs. So you know what I'm saying? It's like people that do funny songs. You got people that do street songs. You got me that do, I try to stick to like type joints, you know what I'm saying, and storytelling. So I think Flint, like the culture of our hip hop has evolved to such a point where now you can just be whoever and whatever you want to be, and as long as you rep for the city while you doing it, the city appreciating.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That
What's up?
well, that's
What's up?
awesome. Like I like how you said that about being yourself, not trying to be something else and stuff. And one thing I noticed in your music, I always hear you speaking, making references towards wrestling
Yeah,
and stuff. And that last project you just dropped, the care package.
Oh,
You know,
yeah, that's funny. Okay, yeah.
my favorite track off that is probably the Heart Foundation.
Let's go.
But like, you know, and like it's so many other good tracks on there. Fiend, Survivor Series, Unforgiven. But the first one I probably heard was the Biggie Langston one. Feel the Power.
Get a power joint.
You know, yeah, when I first heard that, I was like shocked. Like that was something I wasn't expecting, and it was so damn fire. And like, I guess my question is, what brought that? How did that come to be? Like, because that whole project is awesome.
Thank you.
You know,
Yes, sir.
Wow, thank you. Wow. I want to commend you and say thank you because I don't get asked often about the war project with me and my man Montezi. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for asking about that, man. How it came about, and shouts to Big E too. That's my man, 50 grand. Like, he's just a good dude, man. But the way that came about was, bro, I've been a wrestling fan as long as I've been a fan of music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I probably was a fan of wrestling before I was a fan of music, because my mom's always tell me stories about how my dad would sit me on his lap as a baby and we would watch wrestling. Like, that was our connection, like watching WWF at the time, WCW.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was even this wrestling joint that used to come on ESPN called Global Wrestling Federation, which
I remember that.
yeah, I would watch anything that was wrestling. I was on it. I was on top of it. So how it came to be was Swerve Strickland. Shouts to my dog Swerve Strickland, who wrestles for AEW right now. His homeboy Montezi, who co-hosts his show, the Swerve City Podcast, reached out to me and he was like, "Yo, me and Swerve been a fan of your music for a minute, and we got this podcast. We want to have you on it." So once I came on the podcast, we all kind of hit it off. Like, Teezy and Swerve is just some of the coolest dudes I know. I consider them friends and brothers of mine. So once I did the podcast, Teezy was like, "Yo, I got an idea. We should do a whole EP just off wrestling concepts." And I was down for it because it's something that, like I said, I'm knowledgeable about. I have a passion for pro wrestling. Movies, music, and pro wrestling are the three things that I was always passionate about growing up. So it was just fun to do, and we had a good time doing it. Matter of fact, we're gonna do War Part 2, where we do more of the wrestling joint. So that's how that came to be.
That's what's up, man.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask you about my favorite project you've done. It's Unconscious State.
Okay.
Man, I love the project you did, man. You know what I'm saying? And I see you had some features on there, Royce and Talib, Kweli and everything, man. Like, I mean, like how do you stay in that, like, how do you, I don't even know how to really put it, but how do you stay in that, like, that state of mind to, like, make these type of records, man? Because, like, you know it's like you said, nowadays it's either you're a serial killer as a male, or as a female, you're basically selling yourself, your body. You know what I'm saying? So how you stay in your mind with all of the projects you've done? Because I mean, just going back and looking at all your projects, man, like it's just crazy, man. I don't know if you ever seen. I sent you a link before. Like I was just like venting one day, and I was just like, how are you not up there mentioned with the J. Cole's and the Kendricks? Because you know what I'm saying. I mean, you're definitely on their levels, man. You know what I'm saying? Like um, shit. When people, I argue people all the time because they'll be like, "Oh, Drake this," and I'll be like, "Bro, now let me put you on somebody. Let me put you on Jon
Right.
Connor.
Thank you.
Yeah. No disrespect to Drake,
Yeah, no
but Drake ain't.
disrespect, but
You know what I'm saying? But let me put you on some real shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm just it's like how did is it hard to like stay in that lane that you're in? You know what I'm saying? As far as speaking, about positivity, speaking about everything that you talk about. You know what I'm saying, in your records.
Man, I appreciate that question. Um uh it's like I actually care. You know what I'm saying? So that's what keeps me in the lane that I'm in. Me and my dog Tito Lopez was talking about this the other day, where he was kind. We was kind of having a similar conversation, where he was like, "Man, I wish I could make the bullshit that they be making." But I care too much. He says, so every time I open
Yeah,
my mouth, some type of wisdom gonna come out because I care. And I think
yeah,
like I felt him on that because it's the same way for me. It's like I just care about people. I care about after we all leave this earth, and it's a generation of kids that's gonna be looking somewhere for some type of motivation and inspiration. That I hope that they could find it, in my music, almost like on some buried treasure type shit. That they find something that'll keep them inspired and motivated. It's like like I say, I don't think that I make music from a selfish place. Like the music that I make is for the generations of people after I'm gone. I'm not just thinking
yeah,
about like what I can get while I'm here. Like I care about just humanity and I care about people. So for me, it's like there's a passion that beyond the music like transcends into who I am as a person. Like as a person, I care about people. So when I get on the mic, that comes out of me. So it's actually, I don't know, it's not hard for me to stay in my lane because I'm just speaking my truth. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know how to, whatever somebody else is doing, I feel like that's their truth. And I just always want to live in my truth. And I want, when I hear myself back or people play my music back, I'm never embarrassed about the things that I say in my music. And I always want, my family to be proud of the things I said or what I stood for. I got, my
Mhm.
grandfather was a very prideful man, and I want to make stuff that if he was still here, he'd be proud to hear me say. So that's what kind of drives me. And thank you for the compliment. I think with the I as an independent artist, it means a lot like being on your platform right now. Because being independent, man, we don't have the machine behind us. So it's like no
yeah,
disrespect to Drake and Kendrick and Cole and all them, but they've had millions of hundreds of millions of marketing dollars put into them to where it's almost like that's what people are told to think. Like your only options
yeah,
for who the greatest lyricists of this generation are Drake, Kendrick, Cole. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like this millions or hundreds of millions of dollars over and over in these big budget videos and campaigns and marketing and all of that. So it's like being 100% independent. Like I say, everything that I do, everything y'all see me do is money coming from out of my pocket. So the only thing I have, y'all are my machine. Like y'all, when y'all speak up for me, like in the music that I make, like that's what makes it worthwhile, and that's like what indie artists, we need y'all. We need y'all to be that voice, whether it's the podcast or the barbershop or whenever y'all had these conversations. Like, please, like, thank you. Continue to bring my name up, because then that'll make other people want to go explore my music. You know, this is independent artists are truly, we are going against the machine. Like, y'all all we got. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all keeping my name in those conversations.
Oh yeah,
That's
for
cool.
sure, man. I mean, that's real easy to do, you know. But let me give him one more, man. Question, and then I'll let you go. I got it's kind of like a 2-point. I mean, we know you was signed to Aftermath, man, and everything, and would you ever think about going back onto like a major label, or do you like staying independent? And
Okay.
did you write Dre's verse on For the Love of Money? We know Dre did right.
Right.
On. So you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So did you write Dre's verse?
So I'll take it one question at a time. You asked me, would I ever sign to a major again?
Yeah.
I would do a partnership and take the bag, but would I sign like I signed to Interscope Aftermath? Never again in my life. Like, I would never in my life sign as an artist to a big corporation. Never, never, never. I would sign a situation where it's them cutting me the check, and then I do whatever I do, like them funding what I do in a partnership, or getting me to certain platforms and distribution. But I would never engage myself in a situation where a company had say so over my creativity or when I dropped or whatever the case may be. For an artist, that is hell. And for me, I'm an Aries, so I'm not really good at being somebody telling me what to do, because I already know what I want to do. So you know what I'm saying? I'm not really good at that. So I would never in that way sign a contract like that again. But if a company wanted to give me a bag and distribute what I was gonna do, then cool. And then also you asked me, did I write Dre verse For the Love of Money? And the thing is, I'm not saying nothing that's not researchable, because if you look in the credits for Compton, you could see all of the people that wrote on the record. You know what I'm saying? So so when people watch this, it's not like I'm exposing nothing or nothing else. Yeah, I wrote part of it, but then also I think King Mez wrote the other half of Dre's verse. So I think me and King Mez wrote Dre's verse For the Love of Money. But I'll give you some hip hop knowledge, because look, I don't care about credit, but I just want people to, if I did something, fuck it, I did it, and we had this as a part of hip hop history. So I wrote Jill Scott's hook for that. It's beautiful outside. Looks like it's raining money, man. I wrote that.
Oh shit! Okay.
So yes, I wrote that. But the funny part is, I originally wrote it with Erykah Badu's voice in mind. You know what I'm saying?
I heard that. I could hear that in the writing. I'm like, damn, that sounds like it would have been perfect for Erykah Badu.
When I wrote it, I remember I was really pushing for Erykah Badu to be on that, and I'm like, Dre, can we get Erykah Badu to be on that? And for one reason or another, that didn't happen. So I remember Marsha Ambrosia came through the studio, and she was listening to the record, and she was like, yo, this is crazy. She was like, yo, you know who else would kill this if y'all not gonna get Erykah Badu? She Jill Scott would kill this. And we all just was like, yo, that is perfect.
Yeah.
Jill Scott would kill this. And for me, dog, just a little behind the scenes on For the Love of Money, man. That was just so dope for me, because that was the first time that I wrote something, and an artist like a Jill Scott was singing something that I wrote. You know what I'm saying? And it confidence. It gave me confidence of damn, I can do this. I do deserve to be here on this level, and I do have the talent to do it on this level. So yep, I wrote the hook, the beautiful outside, raining money, man, and also there's a breakdown at the end of For the Love of Money where it's a guitar and all this other stuff happens. I produced that part, because the story of For the Love of Money, and then I'll end it on this as far as For the Love of Money. I just want to give y'all a little hip hop history, man.
Yeah, real shit. That's what this is about.
The reason why I went so hard on For the Love of Money was because it originally was supposed to be the single for my album that was going to come out on Aftermath. So when I wrote it, it was my song. So that's why
Yeah.
I'm turned like on that because
Yeah.
I'm like, yo,
That explains a lot.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
originally, For the Love of Money was gonna be the single from my album that was gonna come out on Aftermath Vehicle City, but then much love for to everybody over there because then it was like at the time I was only on One Shot One Kill because at the time I was working on my album, so it was like
Mhm.
while Dre and them was working on Compton, I'm over there working on Vehicle City. So Dre was like, "Yo, we got to get you on another record, like on the project." So when I get to the studio, I see For the Love of Money is on the board for Compton. So it was like, you know what? I couldn't even be mad at it. It was like, yeah, I wanted this to be my single, but at the end of the day, I get to have another joint on a Dr. Dre project, which at the end of the day, which that's some legendary shit right there. So that's the full story for the Love of Money.
That's
Okay.
what's up, man.
Yeah.
It's, it's, I just want to ask this question because SOS 2,
Yes,
like
sir.
that's my favorite project of yours.
Thank you.
You know, and I just want to thank you, brother, for 2020 Survivor.
Oh man,
That was such a fire track. It was so much honesty in it. It was thought provoking. It spoke on stuff that people don't want to hear or even admit. You know, and like doing something like that. Does the thought of possibly rustling feathers come to mind? Because me myself, it wouldn't. Like I'm like, and you're here with that thought that came to your mind? Did it?
I think that the reason people listen to Jon Connor music is because I tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have any intention of doing business with dark spirited individuals. So the only way somebody will feel the type of way about the things I say is if you're a part of an agenda that I already don't agree with. So I already wasn't gonna fuck with you anyway. You know what I'm saying? So so it's like if somebody has a problem with some of the things I say, and I feel like I'm only speaking from a place of truth and love and loving humanity. If somebody got a problem with that, then that means you ain't a part of the plan that I'm a part of, which is God's plan.
That's right.
If you ain't part of God's plan, I probably don't want to rock with you anyway. So I don't care if I ruffle their feathers. So they can take it how they want it.
Okay, I like that.
What's up, man?
Perfect.
I be banging SOS too, man. I be picking up my daughter from middle school and taking her to cheer practice, and I gotta be on a bunch of white people, man, around me and stuff. They be looking at me crazy, bump me. So shout out to all my people at the cheer center who what I'm saying, they be like, hey man, turn it up. So I'm like,
Yeah.
man.
Thank you, bro. Like for real, please. Like I said, man, I can't stress it enough, man. Please, y'all. Thank y'all. Please keep spreading the word of the music, because, like I say, being indie, the genuine, organic love that y'all giving me, that's what that's all we got. So thank you.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir, man. We appreciate you, man. Keep going, man. So,
Yeah,
the
real
last
shit.
question we got for you, man, is just what is 2023 looking like for you, man?
All right, so 2023, and it's about to be crazy that I'm gonna attempt to do this, but so on the 20th I'm gonna release a single, and every other week in the whole 2023 I'm gonna release a single every other week, and every 2 months I'm gonna release a full project. So the first single.
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh, so we gonna get a Jon Connor single every 2 weeks, like every 2
Every
weeks,
week
or
you're gonna get a joint from me, and every 2 months you're gonna get a full project. And so,
Oh,
thank you. And
Christmas already passed, man. What the hell?
so, because man, like for me, man, I save it for the next interview because I was about to get long winded, but unless we got time. But what I was gonna say,
Oh, we got time.
yeah, man, every other week and then every 2 weeks, and the projects that I got coming out. Me and my man iRock, he's a producer out of Detroit. That project right now is getting mixed and mastered. It's dope. Like this project is more boom bap. It got a couple bounce joints on there, but that's for the ones that are people that really like the lyrical part of me. It got Razzcazz on there, which a lot of people that's been hip hop fans always want
Sir.
to do a joint with Raz. My man Courtney Bell from Detroit. My man X Rated from Strange Music is on there. From Battle Rap, my man Cortez is on there. So it's like I wanted to make a project that was lyrical, like you know what I'm saying, like specifically going in like this is for the people that like the lyrical side of me. Then I got the project 24 with the legendary KLC from Beats by the Pound. That shit is straight New Orleans bounce meets Flint. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so
Okay.
that's for, that audience, for my peoples in New Orleans and in the South that want to hear that bouncing, that just classic KLC sound with me spitting over it. Then after that, we got me and my man DJ Silk, who I became close friends with while I was on Aftermath. Me and him found out we got the same birthday. So we got a project called 413 that we're trying to get that one out on our birthday on April 13th. Let me look at the list. Oh, then me and Tito Lopez, we just finished our project, Smiles and Cries, which that's gonna be crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Then also I got a tape that I'm gonna drop called The Vault, which is a whole bunch of freestyles that I did like during the time period that I was on Aftermath, like where I would just go home every day and just rap to just different beats. So I never put them out, so I'm gonna put them out as a project called The Vault. Then the 3 project season finale is gonna come out this year. So yeah, and then also I'm writing a book called Tales of a Tumbleweed, which is gonna be just me talking about my journey in show business, but it's also gonna have the pictures of a lot of pictures that I haven't posted before, or just a lot of funny pictures that got cool stories behind them. So Tales of a Tumbleweed, my book probably be out by the end of the year as well. So that's my plans for 2023, man.
That's good.
Hey, 2023 is starting to look good, man.
Man,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You setting the bar, brother. You know what I'm saying?
man,
So hey,
man, what I'm doing is it reminds me of. I remember when I really wanted to be on the Double XL freshman cover in 2011 or 2012, right? It was 2011 because I remember that's when I went dumb crazy in 2012 and started just putting out a bunch of shit. So it's like I kind of feel like that way again, where I felt like, okay, well, if y'all gonna try to ignore me or act like I'm not putting the work in or not on a certain level lyrically, if y'all gonna keep ignoring my contributions to hip hop, I'm gonna put out so much music and I'm gonna be so loud and I'm gonna do so much work that if you ignore me at this point, you just blatantly hating. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I want the people that are fans of my music to stand up and be like, fuck that. Jon Connor put out a song every 2 weeks, an album every 2 weeks, and lyrically it was better than anything that's happening. And I want my fans to feel that pride of like, no, y'all gonna respect the message, y'all gonna respect what he stand for, and y'all gonna respect the contribution. So I feel like I'm back in that position where it's like, oh, so y'all ain't trying to hear me. So it's like, no, y'all gonna hear me, and I'll work everybody, and I'll rap everybody, I'll whatever
Okay.
anybody for it to be like, yo, this message needs to be heard. It's not even on no arrogant shit. It's just that I'm just trying to offer balance. I'm so sick and tired of like just poisonous, destructive ass music being what get the majority of the attention. So it's like, okay, so for me, it's more so about that than it is about Jon Connor needs a pat on the back. No, fuck that. Like, I just want to bring like music with a message, and I want to bring like just that food for the spirit back up to the forefront, man. And so that's what I'm gonna do this year. You know what I mean? It's like I'm fighting against
That's what's up.
the machine. So man, I appreciate y'all.
we with you on that, man. So we
100%.
gonna be rocking. You know what I'm saying, and stuff, man. And I'm definitely look forward to seeing you South by Southwest, man. If you're coming down this way, man. Like I said, I'm here in Austin and everything. So definitely hopefully we'll link up, man, and stuff. That'll be great, man. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yes.
yeah. So man, we appreciate you taking this time out with us, man. You know what I'm saying, to show us some love, man. Once again, big fans of you, man, and Hope you have a great 2023. Everybody, this is Jon Connor, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to Flint. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's the legend right here, man. You know,
Living legend.
legend already.
And thank
You know what I'm saying?
and yo, when I start dropping this music, let's do this again, man. Let's make a habit out of it.
100%.
Yes, sir.